Observe a minute of silence.
All right, Abusiafo, this is the debate with Monofie. Say none that they can hear me. Any William Monofie Amankona. I say Ghana a ye kesie ato ewo Ghana. Namum enkrofobi person mofasa a ye ho ede a ye ne edan politics. Ede ye jandam. Ede say abanya otisui enemu empanyifo. So some of us it's our duty to come live and then get you on board. Send ye nyina yebetimi akyerɛkyerɛ enema mu. Abronye DC afa kwan bi so person de aye editoro edekire Ghana emanfo. I'll take my time then I'll take you through. Forensic auditor be say when your flight recorder which is the black box no. I analyze it. Na data now whatever out no, it will shock you. That is something I'm going to explain to you today. I said yes, I was saying say data no so you pick a black box no. You call forensic audit na wie. Na die ene yete ye. Me do be call sansem ne enyina so. Na ye sha se no. Senior former army officers bi no ade omano atom say there be. Black box na yira no almost to say yemfa nkoma manufacturer of the aircraft no which is the Chinese no more analyze it and as yema omo ankasa mra Ghana na they should come and also analyze it but yenya Ghana phobia omo so fato omo so analyze this anima no me do be kwani yina kwa kind the report na nipa no e be tu dwa you make your own informed analysis say in seminar all kind of no kre ananye no kre or do you think say there is something more or something different we need to talk about and also yebetimi akasa afa ho. Now, a year we buy an accident we buy and as a crash we buy a lot of Ghanaians say they suspect say a pilot no as when you're qualified to fly that particular. Now, former soldier panyi bi aba out there be ono mom de otusu say nipa no fly that particular airline no or as aircraft no or you're competent enough to fly it. Because also why here Juma ewo army no to him say says I brand any 10 to 12 years experience in flying that particular aircraft na nkanya dia you na fly those particular aircraft no enti ene ye ba be bisa say so say nipa no with that kind of experience ultimately flies are there now what caused it but this is coming from a retired Ghana Air Force officer if any wing commander Patrick Nelson Sogbejo or Sogbejo Sema or the buyer no. So let's go back and then analyze the patch. Be any William Monofie Amankona say, oh, any kind of observation biana ubetimi ama eno atwetwe nkomo. Yen nim say this particular accident and as a crash here by prominent Ghanaians including Dr. Omaneboama onye obi akeke. Dr. Omaneboama position the kita no Ghana and as NDC mu no enye position kita but from NDC no and this particular big portfolio Defense Minister Eshenensa Dr. Mohamed Mutala Etimbi former KMA bosses panyifo akukuda makese even nipa kwa na yeka play na soldier for team so enye nipa ketwa so edin potin ene call so a this particular helicopter etimi konya crash ehyi ema nipa o team nyina sebe ehyi ewu. Was it the fault of the pilot? Bibi na call so our aircraft num. And I said, was it shot down or whatever? And they back on forensic audit or if they could do some. will be also a forensic auditor. You also they analyze flight data, flight recorders. Then na could be say, Master, if it's a dear potting and the course. Also, when your data no, when your black box on, you friend a black box on. Into communication, the course of flight team, the free outside by say we been a bad plane. No, said this man will take his time and then analyze it for us. Need you know Pacho and Penifua Sebe. This particular crash in your pictures in the good on our screen. No? So these are prominent people in the society. Sebe. Se me amete he se me kan ho bia ye so senka by now me maame esu ana mabusuafo esu but we need to mourn na eno ena nipa bi ti se abronya ma ya o ma dwe se da bi sansam we no omo de nya de a omo befa ne kwa and they will tie you to a political party na ya kosengela out the chairman of NDC say insese nkosu ko ma chiro video wa general secretary and council of the party ejina ho a osu. Bisa who said dear Nebema General Mosquito and Cassa General Asusei must show video the president of the land and so Esu could soon James Suyan and Yusuka.
May I respectfully invite all of us to observe a minute of silence.
How was the president of the land, Bemaba, Ejina Bonti, Esu Otimu say, Bibi act to papa. Or say, a bad say, I rehearse mu de Yankopon ade na wama na mpare me. Yet people like Abronye DC Kotenani or here TV no so we are going to analyze every single word that Abronye can, and then I'll expose him onto you. I'm one who say NPP party as I mean money be mutim too much. I don't even understand why they keep doing all these kind of things over and over and over and over again. Inti Abronye.
Obi say you better all possible means. Say a kwan bia so ye befa so a sacrifice ye nkwan or say I mean life adia gi to mi bia no a nkwan ka ho no ye befa so enne to mi yaba wo yi wakotena ho esu wo ase edu nkatia wakotena ho esu wo yes ye dun katia wakotena wo su akyere wo wani so bi akọ he o he da pa na aye ne ho se ne wura ho bi anwoe.
Well, how Abronya started? He started by attacking the chairman of the party. Say, sooner General Mosquito sooner ne wura ho ye. Anya opportunity, fine opportunity. Ghana for nyina ka bom ye bom Abronya ni NPP for some month here. Because they want alleges Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to become president until they will make sure say they will destabilize the country. Na say oye ba pen ba. Na say ukọ hwe Abronya ne ohia TV na say ansem we akwa we kan. E convince wa sebe na minim ha wo so wadwete e. But the trust in nsem Abronya e kan. And then I'll try to show you that particular video na Abronya they be back in nsem na wo kan no. Actually how diabolic these people are.
Ase dun katia re bia anhoye mon kan kire se me se ne re hu bia anhoye obi a otimi kase se nkwankura nipa nkwa na ade baje tumi a wo de baje no nipa wu a don't pretend na ore anhoye e ya za ni ase dun katia ye nyina na okoba na anu nyina wa moamoa wa yesa chinchina edi gina nipa no mu nyina no e ya za ne re bia anhoye.
Continue.
Ne re bia anwoye because so timi ka say tumi na mo pɛ no nipa nkwa kora na mo be sacrifice e de agi tumi na mo be ya e ba ne se na nipa wu a ukọ gina se wu su amanfo ba bisa se na wo adwene yi adwuma because wo na aka se nipa nkwa kora na mo be sacrifice agi tumi a mo be ye enne nipa wu emrantie ne mabawa emrantie a o manim onyam o mo wa nim onyam papa bi wo mo wa future papa bi ten wa wo gina hoyi ana ekoro no wo mo wa nim onyam papa bi wo mo gina ha to mu se nipa nie wo mo na ekoro no se ne open no ne open no anti brother mama me country obi ase maye mfa nye politics de wo bia no ewu ni nya obi ade na mom ne ewu bia wo nkrofo aka de obi antimi stop obi a ne ese
is this the right time for Abronye DC to do this kind of things? And that's what said. Ghana ni our me and now Ghana ni a office over by
four parties.
It is a 1 year Jimmy Nia. Obe na transfer answer when out there walker. What them patient tia bro transfer answer when out there walker. What them patient tia bro yen some walker ni. Tieni, take your time and listen to him very, very carefully. Because I only Jimmy ni play. Not the one Tieni man the befitting answer. Office and near to say.
Say kan ye baka obi antimi stop obi a opa akokọ to kwaje njanse na mmeka nke se man kan ne yese kan na court kro no mfa njanse ne mra opa ko supreme court ko ka kire o mo se e ma obi anka ho ase na o mo mfa mra ha ayamuna mo kwa creative problem and now wo asiedu nkatia Wednesday no mehwe se wa mo agina ba bi sa chenchena and now wa ko gina ayi president sense asinchena wo ba be sunsan because we see as a some sacrifice and you mean life kra na mba sacrifice to get the power mo ba ye enti nipa wu a afede wo no wo na wo ni so no wo bi wo asiedu nkatia ne edi kan ni so no wo bi producer born voice no ne yentoaso born voice
The path will not be smooth.
But you listen to this words or say that is what I said Nkatia said. Abronye DC edijina so DJ no mosquito atem but you listen to it very, very carefully. Or the same video no maybe I remember the entire video natural. Listen to him very, very carefully. And do you know why they are doing this? I'll tell you at the end of the day. Etichard, I hope you know. Because they believe Sabio Jomamani was saying Katia might be the next person. That is why they have all of a sudden decided they attack General Mosquito. They did throw the good so. If I show the video, General Mosquito actually said in this particular grounds. And that's on this particular grounds.
Move. But we will stand up to the challenge.
Mubaye enti nipa wu a afede wo no wo na wo ni so no wo bi wo asiedu nkatia ne edi kan ni so no wo bi producer born voice no ne yentoaso born voice
The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything, including lives. The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything, including lives. The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything.
The Uti and Semana General Mosquito Kaini based on Abronye DC's own Jandama and no Nufi say it warrants him to insult Chairman General Mosquito. And according to Abronye, these words the church say NDC a sacrifice or manebomamu to gain power. Until General Mosquito doesn't have the right to cry. Pacho, me de oko the entire video in sama General Mosquito kanyano. Pacho, let's listen to General Mosquito very, very well. Yeah, we are no bisa bronye say, why did he decide to chop some parts out and use little parts to insult this general man?
The 2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress, but more importantly, it is an election to regain the independence of this country. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our lives, to make sure that this country is delivered.
Epacha utie General Mosquito ye. Ena ubehu hawa bronye etwitwa bisi ani. Ba bia General Mosquito say including our lives no. Abronye yi honey free work including lives. Epacha utie abronye de ni ye. Me I'll come back and then we all talk. Epacha utie abronye de ni ye. One tie wuni Jimmy ni dia gona one tie ni ya. You will not understand him or her.
Producer born voice no ne yento so. Born voice.
The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything.
I say, we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. Abronye dia no. Me don't the original one General Mosquito kaino. If he said we are prepared to sacrifice everything, including lives or including our lives. The
2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress, but more importantly, it is an election to regain the independence of this country. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our lives. And I mean everything, including our lives. And I mean everything, including our lives.
So what difference, you know? I took my time to analyze this particular video. I didn't know Abronye ye hour no free or no acquiring lives. No, you see those kind of things. You know, they attacking the chairman of NDC. One how NPP for your money, ma. Etiabusha for time be and only NPP for your idea. Now one two boys here, you might not understand them because they put things together to misinform their leaders or their leaders and then their followers. And then the general public. General Mosquito say the path to 2024 general election is akin to fighting for independence. And to gain independence from a very wicked person, we are prepared to sacrifice everything, including our lives. He did not say including lives to kill Dr. Manebwama. Because independence, what do? You sacrifice everything you have to gain independence. And that struggling for that survival, some people are bound to fail. This is content analysis. Abronye DC knows all of this, but he rather chopped some things out of the video to suit his Jimism to deceive his people. Well, so obi o Abronye video no. So one to the boss here compare original video no. And tie some General Mosquito kaya. Hey, na NDC for na go Manebwama. And NDC one Jimi nkwa. Into the Abronye chia. Jimi say ya na obeye. For I take my time. This is the debate with the Munufi. I say every time. So me one mere pa. So when Abronye brought this kind of video, I made sure that I went back, cross-check every single word that General Mosquito can in that particular video. Then I saw say, akwa we say, Jandam ojuma na oye. Jandam and Abronye do here TV ne. And these are the people almost like you, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, because Mahmoud Bawumia president. You see how they massage figures, data, video, or TV Freeman to suit their stupidity. So I don't know. Do you Ghana ni now to NPP party in the city? And this is how they were NPP man. They will not rather be the people to speak for the party. Because they think say a year now about Ghana for nation, Abronya will play politics with it and insult prominent Ghanaians. He doesn't even respect the dead. I will say Kofia Palu, Edi Mamudu Bomechi sa this Jimmy sa kwake kan kwase asem sa bi na Abronya ye no. Sa na Abronya ye no. Tell me so for me when we are dealing with stupid people, you have to take time. I say you need to take time because when you take it time, they will go back and misinform you. Nema mo ya no. A teacher said, we know the persons within the NDC that they are campaigning for, and we will never allow such persons to take over JDM. General Mosquito will be the president to jail them. Because that's what they fear. What I say. That is why Abronya this year single-handedly take General Mosquito. Now I share that cover video of General Mosquito. Aye, and then sema okay, now I keep your film. But I want to see a video here. You will never know that Abronya was playing Jandam. Well, I took my time to listen to Abronya and how he was insulting General Mosquito. But how they see Abronya semniye and say na what asema American as because minim say any people ni be ba on tie some American no we video ni ye on tie the words in the video no be do at them.
Creative problem and now what see dunkatia one is the mehwese wa mo gina ba bi sa chinchina and now wa kwagina ayi president in sense asinchina u ba be susai because we see as a some sacrifice and you mean life cry number sacrifice to get the power mo ba ye enti nipa wu a afede wo no wusu na wo ni so no wo bi wo see dunkatia ne edi kan ni so no wo bi. Producer born voice no ne yantoaso. Born voice.
The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything, including lives.
Wow, how he chopped our free ho. Now, Fedes, you can the original version of General Mosquito. Look at how General Mosquito started his conversation and the communication, where he was coming from. Abra Okodu, those Abronya decided to chop some off. But I want you to listen. We NPP in the way and this in the wow, we may be ano. And I would see me as a podcaster. But you to what's the
2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress, but more importantly, it is an election to regain the independence of this country. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our lives. Sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our lives.
Enti our and I say our yen kwano. And Abronya decided to chop our nifiro no ja lives no ho. And the code D General Mosquito attempt or say okokuni pada kwaje power. And then how General Mosquito started to construct the sentence or how the independence of Ghana meaningless unless say we are prepared to sacrifice to get that particular independence. Because that time, NPP in the so he says, NDC, this particular election in 2024, it is akin to independence of the nation. And we all have to come together. Or say it is not only tied to NDC, because he was very wise here.
The 2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress, but more importantly, it is an election to regain the independence of this country.
I see. Or say 2024 election NDC but to regain the independence of this country. And the whole of the nation is prepared to sacrifice. But you can national anthem now. Obi onim Ghana national anthem. To boss now they kind of you will see say Asiedu Nketia was rather reciting Ghana's national anthem. No, that is how a reasonable person does his things. Babronye DC decided to jandam on the NPP for party in the my imagine say among kind of crunch no machita fo there be a jandam no be it doesn't also help because never be we are do no oh yeah better auto on himself or you can video next year ni abro bi ehun by better auto because we will go and do content analysis of every single word chosen by the general by the chairman of the NDC General Mosquito. NPP for Sanima we nekamo. No, mo say the current crop of NDC for na aba no e brainy. Adwene ye adwuma. Say bia na adwene say obi adwene da bi adwene nai. Ye ni made ye. And so far as I am concerned, every political actor chooses their choice of words very carefully. General Mosquito wa ye party ache no. He knows how to choose his words very, very, very carefully. And nyawa adwene say General Mosquito doesn't know how to choose his words. Oh yes, what thing? About you, me don't call flight data recorder also. And to your say, now you can message to me and say that is what I'm going to do to you, or I'm going to do with you, because on this particular show, I take my time. If you are analyzing your man, kakran. If you are boys here, now wow, no, what you say? Uko tema bi na uko di matema. I'm okay. Me my emo. That's it. Indeed, that is how I do my show. This is the debate with Munufie. Say, nene da idika me di any William Munufie amankona. It is only unsubscribe and so I no subscribe edi amame. Asari say, this time we are not going to sit down and let stupid people again. Never. That's it. NPP for ne tronkwa. Say Max and buy. I say NPP for lies. Tronkwa, it is a one to what a brother got through here TV, so I somehow can be a tronkwa, a tronkwana quanidi. Unima, or better, I can't why it's serious, not yet, noise and Nina, Jandamonkwa, as I'm no crocra. Or someone come and say no cre. No, I said I could pick a video, no, I call you be a film. None about to an end before ye and a General Mosquito, and I can't say common sense, Chelsea, there be General Mosquito. I'm a minimum and can't answer we are Canada. Because the man is very brainy. When you mandate away, it is a to another one follow General Mosquito. Yeah, of our teacher, that's true. Because for our term day, if we say the truth, Dachin Emma and a baby kills and pat no motia. That is our duty. So I say about I go on the course because the only thing you bet me I there saving Ghana and they say I see a kind of credit Ghana for me. I don't care. Say NDC in the upper NPP in the upper, but what kind of credit the panel? Now, so no one can say now the person picks his own decision, not the kukurumutino, equal team, the other team. I finished with my job. But say, I was say, on kind of correct, oh, that Nipano, the Nipana Kotoa Bama, this I gave you a chum. And before that is what we are doing to you now. A chum, Yan Tiasimo Bianas, I want to be more. Saneman a chum, and the Jandam not enter, I'm not at the Jeffrey from Mobile, and we repeat the same Jandan and now. Some of us, your time, you're the best posimo. Ebian Abronya Obo video, you didn't know that there will be somebody about cross checking every single word that General Mosquito kai, but I've done it to you today. NPP4.
Jimmy for party job.
Toto. See, that is how we're gonna do. All right, this is the debate with Munufie, Medi, any William Munufie Amankona, Oma Yantwaso. But your flight data recorder, no, IFN black box, no. A forensic analyst be and your data no. Now according to him no, we analyze the data no. And the obetray dear potia. According to his analysis no, a man this particular chopper no, a quite crashy in the forest. Papa no, may not maintain the that. Minim ni baby that will be having a whole question I would never get for you. But I was doing a lot of research on former Twitter X. And I'm a bouncer on a very particular gentleman, the DNA Grant. Minim ne baby ada ubi say what here minim no. You could see say me follow no kura Twitter or on X. But when I cross check on his data or on his bio no, ne ho niam ene gu ho no. Or a cyber security analyst, a blockchain engineer, or a info security analyst. Like the positions, baby. I don't know how well educated he is there, but this is what he has written. Say, but dear Potia, Emma me kwa share. Ninse say he wrote something. It's on our screen. I've taken my time. Baby, I'm the screenshot to air to her. Send a bear. Na be analyzing some on wakano. I'm gonna read it to you. Now I explaining every day. Send me. I want to watch you no. You tell us. Now for the common album. But this is the debate with the Munufi, so I'm taking my time to analyze all this data with you because Ghana need to say then I can fly to record and the black box or no, and I will analyze it. I did the better ones. I say Ghana, we buried 8 Ghanaians betrayed by a broken system. I say Ghana, we buried 8 Ghanaians betrayed by a broken system. But his choice of words, I always say the choice of words of people. I analyze them. I see their wings were clipped not by faith, by forged paperwork and reckless orders. But to underline these words, forged paperwork and reckless orders. Our demand for truth honors them, but truth without justice mocks their sacrifices. Prosecute the negligent, rebuild with integrity. Or say, let Ghana Air Force Z9 be our last preventable losses. Into some kind of say, Ghana, akuku damfo mwotwibi ewo manum. Na enye se ne ye omo pe enom de kowu ye. Anase be nyankopon na ahihye ato ho. Na mom kwabara ni beti ho. F4G nkrata asem. Esan share that recklessly. Share that same group we mesela kwa kokomo. Enti according to the nagrant no, say yantimi anyusi dipa 8 year. Kwabara ni bi din samone yakokomo na. Yantimi nya better system in our society. Say if the president wants to rebuild the country there, esiyama integrity ene ye adwuma. Into a Ghana Air Force Z9 and I say Z9 e crãsh here. You use this idea we say and build a better society. Into when am I say at the end of papa you can why need to 4G documents because e will be 4G documents as the aircraft nesi ho no engineer na kura request ko fix ya de no e bi wan fix we and also 2 ade bi wo ho e na o share that here say oh what fix ya de no. And the pilot no got them who they own him say be oh yeah fixing be now they call not to say yeah no more. This is according to Nana Grant. It was one then I decided to push in. And I'm saying Debbie, I want to know more. Oh papa way. Na me hu ade a onim ene nsem a woka so onim asem a woka yin ne hu asem a woka. And I'm saying push him on his data. But this is what he posted. We are all going to learn. If it ends up say the same thing now, Ghana Air Force for the bar, no problem. Say no one are buying the bar, no problem. So I buying the assembly for a bar or say on more day or mark analyze data now. This is the debate with Munufi. If you think that someone making it doesn't make sense, you also have a right to post your comments or anything. Now if the or say official forensic findings, Ghana Air Force helicopter crash 6 August. Ubi say me can say August. August 2025. GAF Z9 or the tail number in Naba lost radar contact at 9:21. Meaning say Ghana Air Force for country say flight on 82912 on that fateful day. But Nana Grant can just say just 9:21 per and a flight radar lose contact with the aircraft. The Pachomoka said, "Nano Bekajo say flight in 2 free Accra. That's a call Boasia. And can me per the calculation I did with some pilot on it should last for about 30 minutes as you can see from. In the 30 minutes you do the NC form. In between that 30 minutes, and na say Ghana Air Force for radar lose contact with the aircraft. And the minutes of flight they take it off now almost 10 minutes now. You win beam. In the time of more flying, you know, that's say now mountain to it, and they were flying, say, and no maybe on them beam kekeno. But it was official forensic findings, according to Nana Grant. The official forensic, Also, I say cyber security and forensic analysts committed to truth and justice. I have conducted an exhaustive, also known as grant, I conducted exhaustive independent investigation into the tragic Obuasi crash and can confirm the cause of the crash that killed 8 heroes. To also know, we analyze the data, and I don't know how he got the data. And I mean, name the baby, anti name so a soldier knew, so a police knew, so I have never come across him. I don't even know him. So we analyze the data now on the cause a man nipa mwatwi after rigorous investigation, we confirmed the tragic loss of 8 Ghanaian heroes resulted from the catastrophic structural failure of the main rotor hub, as weather alone did not cause the crash. What was the time of flight and I said aircraft in accident? Many Ghanaians wanted to say weather and the man crash. Or see there be it has nothing to do with the weather. And your weather and the man causes a crash. So he started by saying, I have conducted. And later on came out to say, we have. Meaning, when an grant got access to the data, no, only a team, it be anything I say. And we also we confirm the tragic loss. But you're into us. An unworthy rotor would have survived undetected fatigue crack missed due to falsified maintenance logs, which caused rotor separation when severe microburst turbulences, or the data number, some of the words, and I don't even know how to pronounce this kind of words, was recorded at 9:33. What Nana can say, oh, aircraft or helicopter now, blade in the system, no. Is reference a rotor or a rotor, I don't even know the right word. And Nana say, na enye adwuma yie enti se nipa no ko miamu no so hyeda na wa miamu so miamu no o hyeda e man ye lose o se din according to na no o se na enye adwuma enti flight in 2 year no anche ena sa adन start say e krake enti pilot no otwi konya no esisu kwa enti at any point sa adन be bu bia no utiate. It was at 9:33. The flight to say 9:12. 9:33. And they said, Adana started south through Ebububa. According to him, Ebubu. Hey, Payara Jose Morgano. Jose Morgana pa. Or say maintenance log was altered with a falsified entry which read rotor hub 100% operational. It was a nipa na cost service aircraft and answer na yetu no. Nema o twere gu maintenance log mu nya no boa. O twere so rotor ni na ye adwuma 100% say no boa. Soldier for no. Ghana army for na omo service plane na nka president nko tena mu no. Nipa na o service fan na esi so no. Omo service rotor say no. Also we no twere logbook mu so wa service 100% operational. O say no boa. Wanya hwe onima asem kura oka. Also, the vibration was so critical that the log report wanted it grounded immediately on 4th August 2024. Inti, I don't know, play no, oko cheki who say I don't know, enye. So much share that. Say, my yard didn't be it me too. According to Nanano, say, San 7 no moka any nano. Say na. Omoboa. Yeah, some. It me do to us. If we are, I will 70. One can analyze it. Maybe I don't know. But some of the words music, I don't even know how to pronounce them. It is always some question. Me answer now. I'm reading what an analyst a posted a friend and a grant, and I'm doing the to her. Because in 7 of kind of be why I host them say nipa da send soldier near so kind of question can matter mo for no that's what we go ditro me ko nipa there I was them. I said black box telemetry showed that rotor RPM surging to 1112% before disintegration, meaning say I didn't say 100% no. I say black box no say na 112%. I said critical evidence proofs safely warning were overruled for operational expediency. Maintenance log fraudulently declared the aircraft 100% operational despite technical urgent grounding orders. Until I say nipa na okwa maintain aircraft etwetwe nema se bibia ye okay no. Meanwhile no boa abera na data na wa flight mi chira say ese flight ense nkamutu. Ibacho tia no tia ni ye. These are not my data me name anything about it. I say maintenance logs fraudulently declared the aircraft 100% operational despite technicians' urgent grounding orders. The technicians in a name data name na se for the chelsea da bi ta aircraft mo man into me when nipa no comment ni so makora wie nti flight no wo betimi da kwa ha ne tachima akora enya hwe. Also, accountability is non-negotiable. We demand prosecution of the Ghana Air Force officer maintaining officers or as a maintenance chief for log falsification and the operations director for gross negligence into a bonipa to be done. I say Ghana Air Force for a maintenance chief on the falsified documents and any operations director. And so she does say, or a negligent, or yankrata, 2 documents. Say, this aircraft, and say, Yemani 2. Where's the same Korea? Or some can check out and no cran and no credit. Nana grant is uncle for me anyway. I'm sure ye. Or see him prosecutor because I'm in the cuckoo nipano. Prosecutor for murder and as a manslaughter. Also, reforms must follow for real-time blockchain maintenance lodges and protect whistleblowers channel. And I think that there were some people in the army almost I can't fly data box and almost information be a command man for most of analyze it. To say we should make reforms by protecting these whistleblowers. Then I say for in yes, a bit said and they say no. So at the end of his data now, or the never be ever 2 verification footnotes, radar or weather data, Ghana Met Agency. Or the never be about it to opposed to a deal we say 7th of August 2025. And say a tenase maimu. Na ye ma kwabrane sheda. E de adwe money. Eko nipa free for nothing. Nipa omo koye man adwuma. A very serious thing. So o ma ye hwe sa ne mani ye. But may I sometimes believe say Bimoka said there are some people behind Omoshe than the Koyes. I don't know. I think that is true. Koye true. You may be and possible say SNKTMC. But over here see we. It's in another grant say why forensic audit or analysis of the flight data recorder now. But this were his findings. TMS say different things be baba. Fine, we take it like that. And now 7 months in the opposition. And almost Susano. So they want to kill. Of course, truth. That's the truth. And then another grant kind of because I'll say 2 people be over a homojuma sense come here. Bako falsify data. And a bako so as control check we say other na aircraft data omodama fetch say we need to ground it. Now we call 30 minutes possible correct or unco check it. And that led to the death of these prominent Ghanaians. So we need to do all these kind of things. So this might be an inside job. I know, Pap. I do agree 100% with you. It could be an inside job because and not possible so we better maintenance like I said. A Juma Edia man no. Abobo was a Ghana soldier, Debbie America, Ghana soldier, idea monuments of a shot at the home sense and home be or nyahwe. And the only thing they know to quest here Monko Buemo, no masala no makobomo. O manage maybe our own yet. Me who Ghana soldier would you know say gata kwara baby or kwaku yimuda. Me who be that. Arahosemo nti ma sheda kuku Dr. Manebo amamu free for nothing amanya boni bia okoye man na dwuma abebo ama man na atimi etumpon okoye a wama wagya na yere ne ma ho nyina for nothing ne ubisa say dear pa na ma papa yiku akunya nkwanhye ya ubie ne obetimi aka ubie ne obetimi aka ase yenyina teman mu na se sei na man na yechiche ne de a ene ye de asem na aba nti ene official forensic findings aba no ene na me de maka ya kire no how I would say bia no I don't know me ti ha de me will be 80% believe in a deal na 20% in the makane na no because any o ka say roto na decision no ena itufiro no because helicopter bi asesa afa na decision no etifiri ho pa no uni control bi se wonya engine failure akwa na that fan no betuma mo navigate akwa mo akwa land safely but se nunya bu firi ho pa de a eno no uni bia obeye. So it is either say nana ekano so the forensic analyst no chire say some particular ade no in the two firi so no eno ye one option eno according to him he is an expert so I will give you the 80% chance a 20% chance there won fan ko be galamsey for because me suspect galamsey for so many years ade. So Ghana anything can happen in the society sometimes on the giant football system no ma what pama asen someone need in your mother. So that is something we need to check as society because imagine say president e kan ho bi anka ba na anka president ko there's nothing we could do. Wow. Nti nema bi wo ha enye in a society. Chidi Chata said Nana Grant's report confirms every suspicion that President Mama was their target. Just as Kwame Nkrumah was targeted at Kolungugu. Of course, Kwame Nkrumah did 8 different bombs. And a targeted or Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and Ukuno. 8. By reports and history, actually say Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ewu out of cancer. Because bomb particles and not to me dodgy no. Ni run about the name kakran to and the man Dr. Kwame Nkrumah cancer anyway. To me, I'm surprised they targeted the president, but Nyankopon the president Fimo. But it doesn't also mean that they cannot get him again. It doesn't also mean that they cannot get it. So the president needs to so offend any. Now Juma is all here on the ground. So you can't say a president and yet to say or manage the economy. But there are some wrongs in the society, so you need to clear them. Because one cloma who nya quite thing. I say yama de contract and yama say ko yi kwan na gu so ko ta no. One nikan streeting kwan na gu e be chia. So that is what I expect the president to do. I say he needs to stay focused. Not until it's never be in the society. Ningi na kan be. Na ye hu se man no ye kwe no. Ya nya ne sa enye. Aju say why not arrest him? This is criminal act. Of course, that is what Nana Grant I can say we need to prosecute some people. We need to the last part of Nana Grant's submission, you know. Also, we need to prosecute some people. Also, accountability is non-negotiable. We demand prosecution of the GAF maintenance officer for log falsification and the operations director for gross negligence. So he mentioned 2 different officers here. Also, Ghana Air Force maintenance officer no, and the falsify documents, and then operations director and also a gross negligence. I said, oh yeah, according to Nanano, or this any part also a year in Shahai, and was young prosecutor Air Force for maintenance officer. Or not the Nanano say, oh yeah, falsification of the log. That's a book. No say, so crack aircraft and ask them, let's assume say, oh, car. Now the car no call mechanic shopper. Mechanic in the here we are, or try the crowd car, and not the stamp so. It is a why you say what crime me brake. Now say if I move the car and I lose the breaker. I say what that and I wash the kukumi or kupirame. So that is exactly what the Grant is saying. Say maintenance officer no ekwo yen name yes you play no wanye and record this why or the buy so pressing director and so and check it and also ma so mum tunko play no okay betimi move here ko enti nyese na Grant you know afam o kire nipa yem prosecute o munyina odini nyina ba say to Shaibu I say greetings my brother, thank you for the good work. I said this on the day that there was a foul play. If this report is accurate, then people have questions to answer to Ghanaians. Exactly, Minia. Because Nana say that is also so what we are now also official I mean, fan two screens to be now, because sometimes you know say name be wa. I say official forensic findings. Ghana Air Force helicopter crash 6 August 2025. Ghana Air Force Z9 tail number GF 724 lost radar contact at 9:21 GMT August 2025. So I say official. And I say only can data. I just say and some more can also say official. If I just share with what I say, and that is what Nana saying here. And in many people are just as hard here because in Kenya president the powerhouse GM was the target. Of course, if this is somebody who falsify documents, Nanka Wakase president and go for there, it means that he was a target. So let's assume that if president was on board the aircraft, Mosquito was on board, Dr. Maneboma was on board, whatever say nipa bimu ka ho na kwe 8 when I say Ghana mpanyifo anka collapse the government no. Say crescent your okay credit. That means the target was to collapse the government. Kabayana Ghana, you need president, you need chief of defense staff, you need a lot of people. Kabayana the NDC party, general secretary or the chairman, ya tinity, ya killing no. Ediano na abronya ya shina. Abronya did this outro way to General Mosquitoes no. Abronya did introduce General Mosquitoes no.
Jansi no makante se mayen kan ye se kan na court kro no fan jansi ne mra o pa ko supreme court ko ka kire o mo se e ma obi anka ho ase no mo mfa mra ha ayamuna mo ko create mu problem and na wo ase edun katia Wednesday no me hwese wa mo agina ba bi sa chinchina and no wa ko gina ayi president in sense asinchina wo ba be susai because we see as a some sacrifice and you mean life cry number sacrifice to get the power mo ba ye enti nipa wu a afede wo no wo na wo ni so no wo bi wo ase edun katia ne edi kan ni so no wo bi producer born voice no ne ento aso born voice
the path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything, including lives.
Nti wa wo say they thought say General Mosquito dan ke kuku no. By any General Mosquito then they come to attack him. Say no mom na timi dodge play na kuku Manebo mamo. Meanwhile no, uti ensema General Mosquito kan ya. Enye sa na kan ye no. Abronye rather falsified this kind of data. It was a falsification of data no. E wa NPP for DNA.
The 2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress, but more importantly, it is an election to regain the independence of this country. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our lives. Including our lives.
Enti so obi share that kofa obi video. Na wa yi nsem ni bi afiri mfini. Na wa kwaka si ani. Enti wo hwɛ the original footage na General Mosquito kan na. Enye se na abronye kan na sa na General Mosquito kan. But rather than oyi nsem ni bi afiri mfini e na o de kwa share ho. What trans could play this kind of jandama. Now if it's a Ghana for agimiti yankoto aba mamo nkodi president. Yes sir. Ya jiminti yentie sa wa abronye tro we wudigu General Mosquito si nkwoto aba mama mudu ba omia Ghana NPP4
Jimmy for party jaomo oni hwe
what's your NPP adan
Jimmy for party
Jimmy for party ni dia no nya den dodo
oh me gina president Kufuor ni kwa sha na be kala
na Jimmy for party na wo Bulgaria won so ya NPP ni no
oh na sa me resume Jimmy.
All right, for this is the debate with Munufie. Medi any William Munufie amankona. Say none that we can ya pacho ultimate subscribe mamia many beje pa. This is live on YouTube. And then me debate you has will be a question if you be some media. I think I will be back. Or I will take my time to answer the kind of question. And Francisca Bibia boko there. That's Jazz. Another while later, Jazz. Tamalebo ko there. why late by we wait me go back to watch all the video and my until that is something. Good evening, just photos. Me that say when yamre na what me adjoin me just me we am from na ye ditamale enkomo. Me so say ene honorable ayi no say ne ye ko bia no. Ye betimi akasa afa ho. Enti ibedi sa enkomo no. Enti abusafo me de besi wa ha ene nyame ya adoma ochina same time I'll be back. And I decided to be earlier. Until ochina I think say 8 p.m. Ghana time meba live but ene no Sunday into me say yin time na fi de video no nyina e de kwa wi se ne be ya obi a oni mmere bia na wi a ja na bia na onabusafo e be si abonkomo yi a na mabonkomo yi na madwenwen Ghana ho e arako se maba Ghana but aside that no ye nyamesomfo yi de e se yitimi enya merema just what about the man? Oh nice. Of course when you abronya footage you know, he must be arrested because washeda he picks the data, chops some things out, and then present it as a sana Gina Mosquito kai. By yes, I know kai. Gina Mosquito started say 2024 elections, you know. A election and yet NDC asemo ba Ghana for ye konde akwaji ye independence. Na si ye be fighting for independence so young sacrifice bibia ye including ye nyina ye nkwa. Any year bibia na yefan kom onka se nipa nko wo but the struggle to get power from NPP no until we should go all in but so tie na Gina Mosquito kind sa no kind we dem amesa mo video ni biem na tie Gina Mosquito asem ni ye na me wia na makwa akọbọ abro nye de no e de akere.
The 2024 elections is not only an election for the sake of the National Democratic Congress but more importantly it is an election to regain the independence of this country. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including our lives, to make sure that this country is delivered.
Until we are prepared to sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, including our life, to make sure that this country is delivered. Yeah, G country in every nipa boni for himself and I'm Ghana for sacrificing everything. Energy power no every NPP himself. But he chose the word including our lives. And on the Ghana yeah they kwaji independence. Now they tea and some abronya so kind. And yi our no every ho. Abronya she that yi our ni free ho. The tea. What the person start now to tea and some abronya kan answer na odi Gina Mosquito atem. Sa edikodru ho.
Obi antimi stop obi a. Opa akokọ to kwaje njanse na mmeka nche se man kan ne yesese ka. Na court kro no mfa njanse ne mra. Opa ko Supreme Court ko ka kire o mo se e ma obi anka ho ase na o mo mfa mra ha. Ayamuna mo kwa create mu problem and now wo asie dun katia Wednesday no mehwe se wa mo agina ba bi sa chenchena and now wa ko gina ayi president sense asenchena wo ba be sunsan because we see as a sacrifice and you mean life kra number sacrifice to get the power mo ba ye enti nipa wu a afede wo no wo na wo ni so no wo bi wo asie dun katia ne edi kan ni so no wo bi. Producer born voice no ne yento aso. Born voice.
The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean everything, including lives. The path will not be smooth, but we will stand up to the challenge. And we are prepared to sacrifice everything. And I mean everything, including lives. I mean
Ntimini on say who NPP for. Nti when I'm going to be about 2022 after 2016 as a no. Tronco agenda say the omoki can say mo boy this abronye you've been exposed. But anyway, this is a debate with Murufi. Enti me da obi asenya me anu ba yebesia. Na abronye de odi omachi NPP for dia. Krono sem gwan. Ah, it's a Jimmy Nkwa, NPP party.
Jimmy for party job.
All right, then tell me for name the best one. Yame Adoma. Ochina. 8 p.m. Ghana time. I'll be back. Now if you know, I'll be trying to come album. Me di any William Munufi am on channel no. The debate with Munufi. But you subscribe, mommy. Ubit me like it. Share so I chira many beje. Money ubi antena sini nyankopon espero. But you soon na yakai Dr. Maneboma ene omomaka. Ido bi ase. Bye bye.
Hey,